G'day guys and gal. To absolutely nobody's surprise, people got around the Dark Eldar video I posted a couple days ago. I mean, like no shit. Everyone loves sexy space elves that is just as likely to kill you as make you climax, often at the same time. As such, we're putting on our dairy gloves and we're gonna go milk this cow before she perishes. Hence today we'll be going over all the notable Kabals in Warhammer 40k. I say notable because there is a shitload of Kabals, like way too many. Dying race my ass, the Eldar are fine. As such, the Kabals that are like, we are the Cabal of the titty twisters, and we have no law, but we exist because someone at GW thought it would be funny to call a Cabal that, they will not be included on this list. Actually, if the Cabal is called the titty twisters, they will 100% be on this list. However, I don't believe there is because not many people are as childish as me. Before we get started, you would not believe it, but Surfshark decided to renew my contract. Hence this video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. You absolute fiends must be really searching up some shady shit on the internet if that many of you are signing up. For those of you that don't know what a VPN is, which at this point should be like 3 of you, it's basically a cheeky little cow that more or less turns you into the grey fox, but online. It allows you to access the internet in other countries whilst hiding your identity. But Majorkill, why would I want to do that? Timmy! You are lucky this is a sponsored segment, or I would have some choice words for you, buddy. The reason you would want to get global access to the internet is to bypass obnoxious licensing deals, such as the ones Netflix has, bypass government firewalls, which could be very handy depending where you live, or just make you untraceable when you browse. This could be especially handy if you look at the heresy on my Patreon. All this for a couple dollary dues a month when you use my link and code Majorkill for 83% off. If you don't love it, then Surfshark VPN offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. Thank you Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Today we'll go over each of the Dark Eldar Cabals, going in alphabetical order. As you've probably seen my videos that are like this by this point, you know the drill. Let's get into it. First up, what is a Cabal? Well, it's basically a workers' union, but with a lot more murder and suffering. The Dark Eldar society was extremely fragmented, with there being noble houses who looked down on the peasants. Due to the actions of a certain dickhead, the peasants realized that they could form into warrior-based organizations called Kabals, and use their strength in numbers to raid bitches and gain influence. Eventually, even the upper noble houses decided to become Kabals in order to stay relevant and trendy. So yeah, a Cabal is basically just a sub-faction of Eldar that can range from billions of Eldar with unlimited resources to a couple dudes just hanging out. First up, we have the Cabal of the All-Seeing Eye, because that's just how alphabetical order goes. Despite them claiming to be all-seeing, we see next to none of these guys, so not much to say here. Yeah, great start. To begin the real spice, we now have the Cabal of the Baleful Gaze. Lots of looking going on with these Cabal naming conventions, eh? These guys are horrible. I mean, they're all horrible, but these guys are bad. Basically, they invaded a world and basically drove its defenders and civilians into the capital city's main district. Once the humans were rounded up, they unleashed mutant monsters to viciously kill everyone whilst they jerked off in the corner. Not even kidding. Needless to say, the Cabal of the Baleful Gaze had their souls replenished for a good while after that. Now onto the Cabal of the Black Blade, who serve as a reminder that even Dark Eldar can get outplayed. These dudes and dudettes invaded a city. However, they probably should have spent more time doing recon and less time lubing themselves up, as when they arrived, they found themselves ambushed by the Raven Guard Space Marine chapter. Needless to say, by the end of the day, the entire Cabal had gone kaput. This next Cabal is the biggest and greatest and arguably the first to exist, the Cabal of the Black Heart, which is Asdrubal Vex's personal Cabal. This Cabal is so vast and powerful, it has sub-Cabals within it. It's the ruling Cabal of the Dark Eldar, and any attempts to overthrow it have been met with death and sodomy, usually in that order. The Cabal of the Black Heart was what inspired others to form their own Cabals, as if such a lowly slave such as Vec could rise to the top, then anyone could. They won't, cause Vec will fucking kill them if they try, but theoretically, they could. Now onto the Cabal of the Black Sun. Damn, these Dark Eldar sure are obsessed with the colour black. Probably why they used to raid the shit out of Vulcan's home planet. The Black Sun are known as the Cabal that somehow captured a scientist that turned himself into a sentient beam of light, purely so he could flex on people about how he turned himself into a beam of light. He's the 40k equivalent of Pickle Rick. The Cabal used the technology of the light scientist to raid and pillage worlds. Good work, Light Beam Rick. Death by poison sucks, hence the Cabal of the Blackened Tear decided to poison an entire hive world. Goddamn. Vect was so impressed with their efforts that he decided to promote the Archon of the Cabal. And who said he wasn't a nice guy? Next up is the Cabal of the Blades of Desire, which is actually a pretty interesting Cabal. They are led by a warrior queen called Zellion, who I think might be inspired by some bitch from Conan, but I could be wrong as my Conan knowledge pretty much extends to people posting excessive amounts of Conan memes in my Discord. This Cabal was sick of Vex's shit, hence they teamed up with numerous other Cabals as well as made some pretty dark deals and resurrections to get a force that could challenge him. However, Vex saw this a mile off and was able to manipulate all the Cabals into fighting each other. Eventually the Cabal of the Blades of Desire ended up on top and gained quite a good reputation due to this. Nice. Then their warrior queen died in a training accident. Wait, what the fuck? Considering death is usually pretty temporary for influential Dark Elder, I don't think we should be too worried about her not coming back, but yeah, a bit of a weird one. The Cabal of the Bleak Soul Brethren don't really show up in the lore, however they have an especially twisted sense of humour and they also have shark teeth. Damn, I guess I found a new favourite Cabal. Next up is the Cabal of the Bloodied Claw, who would make a great antagonist faction in 40k game purely because of their Archon. The dude is ancient and has survived 300 assassination attempts. This is because A, he's incredibly good at reading people, like second only to Vect, and B, whenever he feels threatened, a gravity field sucks him up to safety while simultaneously deploying an elite retinue of warriors. I could totally imagine being a space marine, fighting into his throne room, then bam, a cutscene where he flies to safety and you have to kill his elite warriors, then you get to boss battle him after. No worries GW, I'll take a 15% royalty, thank you. Now onto the Cabal of the Bloody Storm, who were able to meme the shit out of a Blood Angel successor chapter. They invaded a recruiting world that belonged to the Angels Sanguine. The Angels came to defend it, but then the Cabal released a virus that triggered the Black Rage. Hence the Angels ended up killing all of their recruits, then each other, whilst the Cabal of the Bloodstorm jerked off in a corner. Yes, the Dark Elder jerk off a lot. If I jerk off a lot, then sex-addicted space elves are gonna do it as well. It's not unlaw friendly, okay? The Cabal of the Bloody Talon actually do something pretty spicy. They baited, then killed the chapter master of the White Scars. Damn dude. Unfortunately for them, the new chapter master tracked them down and killed the majority of the Cabal, including their Archon. Look, how many times I've gotta say, it's never a good idea attacking a first founding Space Marine chapter. It always ends badly for the attacker. Always. Next up is the Cabal of the Broken Sigil, who the Imperium fucking hate. This is because of how much sabotage the Broken Sigil employ. They're like the Night Lords in the way that they sow terror amongst the population before going in for the kill. They boast that they can even make Space Marines cower in fear, and that they have quite an impressive collection of them as slaves. Unsurprisingly, the Death Watch put in an extra shift every time they fight these guys. The Cabal of the Children of Thorns are a secret Cabal full of the scum of society. Slaves, nobles in exile, or people that just smell like shit. This Cabal is envious and angsty. They seek to collapse the Dark Elder society so they can rebuild it in their own twisted image. I mean, I guess it's already twisted, but they want to make it even twistier. Now onto the Cabal of the Crimson Blossom, who hired various human pirates to bring them slaves. Actually a smart move, as real space raids are quite risky. Unfortunately for this Cabal, using humans meant that the Death Watch was able to set up an ambush and successfully kill the majority of them. Womp womp. The Cabal of the Dark Mirrors are a bit of a meme. Their Archon was an avid jet biker who was in a race, overloaded his jet bike, turned it into a bomb, which then blew up and killed all the other competitors in his race. He then finished said race, which was a jet bike marathon, on foot. He would then go on to invent new and exciting jet bikes, before eventually being beaten, then killed in a jet bike race by the new hottest racer. The Cabal of the Dying Sun take their name quite literally. See, they were able to keep and hide a device that, if used, can kill a sun. Makes sense. They also like to raid at sunset, because the sun is kinda metaphorically dying at that time. At least if you're fighting these guys, they're gonna be pretty predictable. Now while some Cabals get ambushed and slaughtered, others get ambushed and end up with a bunch of new slaves. Such was the case with the Cabal of the Ebon Law, who were ambushed by a large Imperial force led by an Inquisitor. Despite the Inquisitor having 2 Titans and a squad of Deathwatch Marines with him, the Ebon Law killed him and took his army prisoner. Nice. The Cabal of the Falling Moon are arch nemesis of the Cabal of the Dying Sun, pretty much just because of their names. The two Cabals will often invade the same system and enter into a competition. The Falling Moon will try to destroy all the system's moons before the Dying Sun can kill the system's sun. Yeah, it's a very childish game. This next Cabal has the second largest army of all the Cabals, the Cabal of the Flayed Skull. They're experts of airborne assaults and even once conquered an entire world without a single Dark Elder stepping foot on its land. The Dark Elder seem to be really good at killing Inquisitors, as was the case with the Cabal of the Immortality Denied. When this Cabal raided a world, a Lord Inquisitor with an army of Deathwatch Marines defended it. Despite this, the Cabal was still able to kidnap the Lord Inquisitor before horrifically murdering him. Solid. Now onto the Cabal of the Last Hatred, who are especially spicy, mainly because they seem to almost master necromancy. They are able to bind a person's soul with their corpse, so even if you're dead, you just kinda aren't. Hence they have more or less a large army of zombies, in which they use for war or, just for the memes. Yeah, nobody likes these guys, especially since they're one of the few Dark Elder Cabals that actively prey on and capture Craftworld and Exodite Eldar. The Cabal of the Obsidian Rose are known for their extremely good weapon making. Any tool of death produced by this Cabal are known to be of the highest quality and reliability. The Archon of the Obsidian Rose is so anal about the quality that if one sword is not perfect, she will walk all the way down to the depths of her forges to beat some sorry intern to death. The Obsidian Rose are another Cabal that hunts other Eldar. Whilst the Obsidian Rose are masters of guns and swords, the Lords of the Iron Thorn excel in making tanks and other boom boom shit. Originally they rose up against Vect, which ended rather poorly for them, hence they're now only kept alive due to them pumping out armies worth of heavy weaponry for the Cabal of the Black Heart. The Cabal of the Poisoned Fang were, not the smartest of the Cabals. They stumbled upon a hibernating Tyranid Hive fleet, and they were like, "Hoodoo, let's board it and bring back some specimens to fuck later." But then the Hive fleet woke up and ate them all. Dumb motherfucker. The Cabal of the Poisoned Tongue are quite unique in the fact that they're kinda led by the god Seer Gorach himself. See, their Archon, Lady Malice, who you probably recognise as that fake French bitch from If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech device, was kinda tricked into putting a shard of Seer Gorach where her heart is meant to be. Since then, she's come under the Laughing God's influence and is actively fucking over Vect for the lols. Names in Warhammer often end up being quite ironic. For example, the Cabal of the Realm Eternal. This Cabal wanted to overthrow Vect. No shit, like all of them do. So they teamed up with other Cabals and even revived a long dead powerful Archon. Well, Vect sabotaged the shit out of them, humiliated their Archon, and then said Archon got possessed by a demon and was slain. Hence the Cabal broke down. Realm Eternal, my asshole. Now onto the Cabal of the Slashed Eye, who threw a massive hissy fit and banished one of their nobles who brought an Eldar Farseer into their court. This is a big no-no, as Dark Elder are shit scared of Psykers, as Psykers draw the attention of Slaanesh. As the Dark Elder hates Slaanesh's attention, you can see why they were mad. Since then, however, the exiled noble has been a huge thorn in their side, and has nearly overthrown the Cabal on numerous occasions. Should've just let the man have his fortune-telling waifu. Now onto the Severed, who are a pseudo-Cabal that were exiled from Commorragh. They get their name from their Archon who had his hand severed, and he refused to regenerate it because he thought it was badass. Also, his jerking hand was the other one, so he didn't mind too much. The Severed have continued to grow in recent times, and now sport a gigantic raiding fleet that they use on the galaxy and sometimes even on Commorragh itself. Working with demons is never a good idea. Just ask the Cabal of the Taloned Citrix. This Cabal, in all their originality, wanted to overthrow Vect. To do this, they summoned and bound a demon army to their will. Vect, thinking this was funny, decided to seal off the Cabal's territory from the rest of Commorragh, effectively trapping them with an army of demons. Needless to say, the binding didn't last long, and the Cabal was destroyed by the very demons it summoned. Another bad idea is trying to secede from Vect's rule. The Cabal of the Wraithkind found this out the hard way, as when they tried to, Vect moved their territory into the Cum Zone and turned them all into Shadow Fiends. Nice. And finally, we have the Cabal of the White Flame. They worked with the Cabal of the Realm Eternal and the Blades of Desire to try topple Vect. Well, we know that didn't work. The White Flame were the ones that resurrected the long dead Eldar Archon who turned out to be possessed by a demon. As such, the white flame got clapped pretty hard, as notable swathes of it joined up with the demon due to manipulations and free spiky butt plug offers. So yeah, not ideal for the white flame. There are other Kabals, but they have like no lore, so who gives a fuck? And that does us for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per month give you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more Kabali content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.